Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And it's the 1978 Eisenhower Dollar. The last year they made the Eisenhower Dollar. They made it 71 through 78, and some of you probably know why they stopped making it in 1978. The Susan B. Anthony Dollar came out in 1979. And look at the size difference there. Why did they do that? Well, the Eisenhower dollars were great for Vegas and some of the slot machines and stuff like that. They weren't great for buying stuff from coin-operated vending machines. And so they said, let's get something a little smaller and see if we can get people to accept it and use it. Let's try to get rid of those paper bills, because the paper bills are hard to take care of. They just wear out. So, but guess what? The Eisenhower dollar did not last, and the Susan B. Anthony dollar didn't last either. The Eisenhower dollar has a couple of really interesting traits. It says Liberty at the top, of course. In God We Trust here, 1978 here, and there's a D for Denver, and that looks incredibly small, doesn't it? That little D down there. The Eisenhower dollars mint marks are the same exact size as all the other coins in the mint set. So this is a dime from 69, but it's the same size for the mint mark. And you see this is the D here, and there's the D here. They're both the same size, even though the dime is not quite as big as the Eisenhower dollar. We have the same size mint mark on them because it's almost as if you can't see it in certain occasions. So there's the Denver Mint one. If we look at the Denver Mint one, we know that in 1978 they made about 33 million at the Denver Mint in uncirculated condition. And this is, oddly enough, pretty close to uncirculated condition, but it came out of packaging and it has a lot of little marks, almost like an acne-like marks. We tip this coin up. We see there's a copper-nickel blend, and we tip it over, and we see that you have the 13 stars, and you can count them as you go around, 13. You have the eagle landing on the moon. You have Earth over the eagle's shoulder. It says $1 here at the bottom. And you'll know, I just brought the Susan B. in. They used the same back for the Susan B. Anthony coin, which is just kind of strange in a lot of ways. All right, but that's enough of the Susan B. Let's get to the Eisenhower dollar. So this is the Denver Mint, where they made 33 million. They also made them at the Philadelphia Mint, and you can tell a Philadelphia Mint, of course. Philadelphia Mint, there's no mint mark at all down there. In this condition right here, which is an uncirculated coin, this is probably worth about $2, a little bit more than $2 to a collector. The Denver Mint uncirculated is worth probably about $3 to a collector. It's not based on much, because they actually made more at the Denver Mint. For some reason, the Denver is just slightly more collectible. When you look at the two mints, then you remember, of course, they made it at 3 mints in 1978, and that third one was the San Francisco Mint. And at the San Francisco Mint, they only made these kind of coins. So, and you can tell the difference right up front. So it's a different polish on Ike. It's a different polish on the letters. It's the background is just amazing. You could comb your hair in this one if you used it as a mirror. Same thing, God We Trust, 1978. We see the S there. Now remember, this is not a silver one. This is the one from the San Francisco Mint that has the copper nickel clad cone. This one is worth about $5 or more if you can get it into uncirculated, and even more if you get up to the proof. And this one's got to be pretty close to one of the higher level proofs. Now, if we tip it up, we see that there are initials down there right under the neck, and that is for Frank Gasparo, FG right there. And you can see it really well here, the FG there, the F and the G. And Frank Gasparo also had his initials on the back of this coin. And let's see if we can find where those are. It's down on the moon. We see the eagle clutching the olive branch, landing on the moon. Again, Earth over his shoulder, and these are the islands off the United States that you count to see what type of coin this is. And then right there, right underneath the eagle's tail, we see the F and a G, and that's for Frank Gasparo. So Frank Gasparo initialed the front and the back of this coin. And again, this is probably worth $7 to $8, maybe $10 in a proof 65, but because we had a broken set, we just took it out and looked at it anyway. They also, in 1978, didn't just make the dollars, they did make the half dollar too, the Kennedy half, And these, it's interesting because the Kennedy came after Eisenhower. Of course, Eisenhower was president until 1960, and Kennedy became president in 1960. Well, the Kennedy half, I'll show you that this one also uses the same size mint mark. So we got the, and it just looks tiny on there, doesn't it? So there's a D there, there's a D there, there's a D there. And the Kennedy half from that year, it's more than half the size of the Ike, but it's not much more than that. They did make the Kennedy half that year also. All right, well, that's pretty much all we have from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel.